And there are meteoroids. Okay, now what is mean by a satellite? Any of you, can you answer me? What is mean by satellite? Yes, students. Okay, Neha, an astronomical object orbiting any planet of our solar system is satellite. Very good, Neha. So, satellite is an object, okay, which orbits any planet of our solar system. Our Earth is having one satellite, right? Uh, okay, so what is the name of the satellite of Earth? Moon. Okay, so we are having Moon as our satellite. Similarly, Jupiter, you know, Jupiter is having 69 satellites, right? So in this way, every planet is having, some of the planets are having their own satellites. Fine. So, so I was asking some questions because students are less today. So I want, still some more students to join. So now 65 students. So now I'm not waiting much, wasting your time much by asking questions. Let us begin the chapter, students. Okay. So let me share my screen with you first. Okay, you told me several answers regarding space, regarding sky. Okay, what is the main difference between space and sky? What are the different objects in our solar system? What is mean by satellite? All these answers you gave me. Okay, so these all things why we are learning, because today's chapter is related to space. Our lesson's name is Space Mission. That is last chapter of your science part 1, space missions. Okay, so in this chapter you will be learning what is mean by space mission, what are artificial satellites, how to classify the artificial satellite, what are the various orbits of artificial satellite called, what is mean by satellite launch vehicles, which are the satellite launch vehicles, okay, and space missions away from the Earth. So these are some of the topics which we will be studying today. So let us begin with the first topic, that is space mission. Now, you know, man has always been curious about the sun, about moon, about stars, and the world beyond the Earth. Inside the Earth, we know what all things are there. But beyond the Earth, there are some non-living objects like sun, moon, stars, and world. Okay, so we are curious to know about them, to study about them, right? So initially, what man did? He tried to observe the space with telescopes. Okay, he studied about the sky, he studied about the space, sun, moon, star, everything. And then he launched many artificial satellites and many other equipments like telescopes in space. So eventually what man did, he made several journeys to the space. He has to visit the space. There is also a space station where he can stay and do the research in space. Okay, so subsequently what he took, he undertook many space missions beyond the Earth's orbit to understand and study the space beyond the Earth and even beyond the solar system. So there were certain objectives. Okay, like the main objective was to launch the artificial satellite in the Earth's orbit for study and research. So, so you can see in my PPT, the communication by artificial satellite. Okay, so that shows that we can communicate using with the help of the artificial satellite. So to launch this artificial satellite, in the Earth's orbit for various purposes like telecommunication, weather study, radio, TV program transmission, etc. We need to do space mission. Okay, then to send artificial satellite beyond the Earth's orbit. Beyond the Earth's orbit, if you want to send any artificial satellite to observe, to study, or to collect information about our planets or meteors or meteoroids, asteroids, comets, we need to study about space mission. What is space mission? Also to understand the part of the universe beyond the solar system, how the universe exactly looks like. For that also we need to know the what is space mission, right? So what is the main importance of this space mission? It is real-time communication across the globe. Globally we can communicate with anyone, right? So and it also provides entertainment and receiving abundant information from the desk at home or office. You can access to huge information available on the internet, right? We are doing online studies. Why? Because of this space mission, right? Because of all these facilities are now available. This communication is available all across the globe. We can have access to huge informations on internet, right? You can search n number of things in internet. Do the management of natural resources. There is advanced alerts and management of some natural calamities. Okay, so even for defense purpose, you can use this space mission. Access to various activities like tourism, navigation, trade, all these things can be done. So these are few importance of space missions. Now let us see what is an artificial satellite. Now you can see in my PPT Sputnik. Okay, it is an artificial satellite. Okay, the artificial means what? Man-made object orbiting the Earth or any other planet. That is called as artificial satellite. Okay, so you know natural satellite is moon. Just now you told when I asked you questions, you were answering me, right? Moon is our only one natural satellite. So so how these satellites work? They work on solar energy. Okay. And hence photovoltaic panels are attached on both the sides of the satellite, which looks like wings, right? So the first satellite was Sputnik, which I have shown you in my PPT. It was sent to space by Soviet Union in the year 1957. So today there are more than 1,000 satellites orbiting the Earth. So satellites, how they work on solar energy. Okay, so instruments are installed in the satellite to receive and transmit the signals from and on the and to the Earth, right? So in this way, satellites are there. So satellites have various types of instruments also, and the functions also varies depending on the functions. The instruments varies. Okay, so one such satellite is shown in my previous PPT. I shown you one such satellite, right? So signals transmitted from the Earth to the satellite and from the satellite to a mobile tower and mobile phone are also shown. So how the signals are transmitted, that is shown over here. Okay, so the how the signals, they are transmitted from the Earth to the satellite and from the satellite to a mobile tower. Okay, and mobile phone. So these satellites are sent into the space to perform various functions. So depending on the function, satellites are classified into various categories. Like we are having weather satellite, communication satellite, broadcast satellite, navigational, military satellite, and Earth observation satellite. Okay, their functions and names are given. You can read it later on. Okay, so I'm not going through that. Just that is for your information. Okay, next is about orbits of artificial satellite. Which are the orbits here? Okay, now here you can see the orbit of a satellite. How you can define it? It is its path around the Earth. Okay, how it moves around the Earth. Shows what the path around the Earth. So the function of a satellite decides its orbit. So the orbit can be circular or it can be elliptical in shape. As shown in my PPT, you can see elliptical or circular shape. Okay, so the orbital plane of a satellite can be equatorial plane of the Earth or a plane at an angle of the equatorial plane. So based on the height of the satellite from the Earth's surface, we basically satellites are classified into three types. That is high Earth orbit satellites, medium Earth orbit satellites, and low Earth orbit satellites. So accordingly, we are having different names. So what is this high Earth orbit satellite? Now, if you look at page number 39, they are given there the labels also HEO, MEO and LEO. HEO stands for high Earth orbits. Okay. Now, high Earth orbit is a satellite orbiting at a height equal to a or greater than 35,780 kilometers. Okay, above the Earth's surface. That's why it is called high Earth orbit satellite. So if such satellite revolves in the equatorial plane of the Earth in the same sense as the Earth's rotation and has period equal to that of the Earth's rotation. That means how much times the Earth rotates, that much will be the revolution done by this satellite in the equatorial plane of the Earth. So it will appear stationary. To us, it will be appearing stationary with respect to the place on the Earth. So this satellite is therefore called as what? Geostationary or geosynchronous satellite. Okay. So that's why this satellite is called as geostationary, because it appears like stationary, as if it is still in one place. Actually, it is also revolving. So such satellites are for what? To study about the climate, climatology, telecommunication, transmission of TV and radio programs, etc. So these are some of the uses of this high Earth's orbits. Okay. So that is about HEO. Okay. Now next we are going to MEO. MEO, what is the full form? Medium Earth Orbit Satellite. Now a satellite orbiting at a height between 2000 kilometer and 35,780 kilometer above the Earth's surface is called a medium Earth orbit satellite. So you should remember the height. Okay, it is coming between 2000 to 35,780. So the orbital path of such a satellite is normally elliptical and passes through the north and south polar region. So how they move along the elliptical path, okay, to touching to the north and south polar regions. So you can see in the PPT how the MEO mark is marked. Okay, how it passes. So these satellites are useful for navigation. Okay, so that is about the importance of this satellite. Now next is LEO, that is low Earth orbit satellite. Now what is this low Earth orbit satellite? It is orbiting at a height between 180 kilometer and 2000 kilometer above the Earth's surface. Okay, so it is mainly concerned with weather satellites and international space station. These both are what? Low Earth orbit satellite. The satellite which studies about weather and international space station. These all are what? Low Earth orbit satellites. So in this way, we can classify the satellites into three types. That is high Earth orbit satellites, medium Earth orbit satellites, and low Earth orbit satellites. Okay, so this much I hope everyone is clear with this information, right? What are what are artificial satellites, how we can classify them, what is meant by orbit of an artificial satellite, right? Now next is satellite launch vehicle. Okay, let us see what is this satellite launch vehicle. Okay, now you can see in my PPT the structure of PSLV made by ISRO. Okay, so this satellite launch vehicle, it carries an artificial satellite along with it. okay, to a desirable height above the Earth's surface and places it in the desired orbit. Wherever we want to place it, there it will place. So it needs what? Specific velocity is needed as well as thrust to reach that desired height. Otherwise, it will not reach there. Right? So that velocity and thrust of satellite launch vehicle depends on what? The weight and height, weight and orbital height of the satellite, how much weight the satellite is. So accordingly, structure of launch vehicle is decided and designed. So weight of the fuel also contributes, right? How much the weight of the fuel is, what which is needed for that, right? It also contributes a major portion in the total weight of the launch vehicle. So this also influences the structure of launch vehicle. So in order to use the fuel optimally, multiple stage launch vehicles are now designed and used. So as the journey of the launch vehicle progresses, what happens? The vehicle achieves a specific velocity and certain height. The fuel in the first stage is exhausted and the empty fuel tank gets detached from the main body of the launch vehicle. Okay, so first stage will detach. Okay, once it moves up and it falls back into the sea or in some unknown place, unpopulated land like forest or remote places and all. Okay, so as the fuel in the first stage gets exhausted, the fuel in the second stage is ignited automatically, right? So however, the weight of the launch vehicle is now less than what it was earlier, because one first stage, what first this one stage got exhausted, so that much weight reduced, right? So it is less now, the weight is less, and hence it can move with very high velocity. So most of this launch vehicles, how it is made up of two or more stages. There are two or more stages. Like you can see in the PPT, you can also observe page number 140, where it is labeled properly. The engine using solid fuel, which provides the initial thrust. So in here, from this is the main engine, which provides the initial thrust or velocity to that. So first stage is using what? Solid fuel. The second stage is using liquid fuel. And the third stage is using again the solid fuel. Fourth stage will be using the liquid fuel. And place for the satellite is at the top. Okay. So all these are labeled. You can see here structure of PSLV. Okay. So what is the full form? PSLV means what? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, which was developed by ISRO of India. Okay, so now this PSLV is has four stages. As I just now I told you, four stages are there. So launch vehicles, no, they are very costly, right? As they can be used only once. So lot of expensive. It is very expensive. So to overcome this problem, what America did, America has developed space shuttles, okay, which can be reused many times. That means what? It can be used no, not only for one time, but many times we can use it. So these space shuttles can be used for launching a satellite as well as for journey of astronauts. So that is a what you can say, that is a contribution of USA. So they've developed space shuttles. Okay, so that space shuttle I will show you now. So this is a space shuttle which is having is you can see the space shuttle, and there is a separation of booster rockets, separation of fuel tank. Okay, there is a provision for satellite, all these things, and satellite is launched in its orbit and space shuttle returns to Earth. Okay, once the satellite is launched, what happens to this space shuttle? It will come back to the Earth and then you can reuse it. Okay, so this was done by USA. Okay, so therefore developed space shuttle which returns to the Earth, except the fuel tank. Fuel tank will not return, only the space shuttle will return and can be reused for multiple launches. So that was the information about satellite launch vehicles. Okay, now next we are moving to space missions away from the Earth. Now, as we have seen now that how artificial satellites are used for making our life more and more enriched. So in our previous standard also we have learned, like in 9th standard we have studied about telescopes. Okay, how we are using the telescope, how we can aboard artificial satellites, and how we can gather information about various objects in the universe. All these things we are done in 9th standard. Okay, similarly, some space missions are used to gain further knowledge about the universe. So in this mission, what is done? Spacecrafts are sent to the nearby objects in the solar system. Okay, to observe them very closely, like towards the Mars, to study about the Mars. So there is a Mars mission. Chandrayaan, okay, to study about the moon. Okay, for that also spacecrafts are sent. So Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, you all know about that. Right? So new information can be collected during such missions, and it will help us to understand the creation and evolution taking place in our solar system, in our universe, what all changes took place or what will be taking place in future. To study about all these things, what we need to go for such missions like Mars mission, moon mission, etc. So for such missions, spacecrafts must escape the Earth's gravitational force to travel into the outer space, because Earth is having gravitational force. So Earth will attract them towards itself. So for that, what the spacecrafts have to do, they have to escape that Earth's gravitational force. So to achieve this, initial velocity of the moving object must be greater than the escape velocity. Okay, what should be there? What is should be the important? Initial velocity must be very high compared to the escape velocity. Okay, so as you have studied in gravity lesson, you remember you have studied about escape velocity. So escape velocity on a planet, how we can obtain this? So there is a formula for that, students. Mark it. V escape equal to square root of 2 gm upon r. Okay, page number 141. So this formula is what? Escape velocity. So where g is what? Gravitational constant, which is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. M, capital letter M, it is what? Mass of the planet. That is always, for Earth, it is how much? What is the mass of the Earth? 6 into 10 raised to 24 kilogram. And capital letter R for what? Radius of the planet. And that what is the radius of our planet Earth? That is 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meters. So these values and names you should remember. Okay. So the formula is V escape equal to, that is escape velocity equal to square root of 2 gm upon r. When you will substitute all the values, you will get finally the answer. What is the value of escape velocity? 11.18 kilometer per second. So thus, if a spacecraft is to escape the Earth's gravitational force to travel to the outer space, it must have minimum velocity of 11.2 kilometer per second. So that is the minimum velocity needed. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the escape velocity. So that is about the escape velocity. Now let us learn about moon mission. What is this moon mission? Okay. Now there are few people whom you should know about them. First, let us see what is moon mission. Then we will go one by one. Right now, moon mission. As you know, Russia, USA, European Union, China, Japan, India, all these have successfully undertaken moon missions, right? Many people visited moon from different parts of the world, right? Russia have executed 15 moon missions between the year 1959 and 1976. Okay. Of these last 4 missions brought the stone samples from the moon for study and analysis. However, all these missions were unmanned. Okay. So USA, what about USA? USA executed moon mission between the year 1962 and 1972. So some of these missions were unmanned. It means what? It was not successful. However, the historic moon mission, when it took place on 20th July 1969, when American astronaut Neil Armstrong. He became the first human to step on the moon. So in the year 1969, the first person stepped on the moon, that is from America. What is his name? Neil Armstrong. Now, what talking about India, Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. Okay, ISRO successfully launched Chandrayaan 1, placed it in the orbit of the moon. Chandrayaan 1, so it is sent forward to collect the information about the moon towards the earth for about a year. Okay, so the most important discovery made during this mission was what? Presence of water on the moon surface. That's why we people came to know that there is presence of water on the moon. So India was the first country to discover that water is present on the surface of moon by launching Chandrayaan 1. Okay. Now let us see about Mars mission. What is this Mars mission? So many nations, they have sent their spacecraft towards Mars like moon. Okay. But only few of them were successful. However, performance of Mangalyaan, that is Indian spacecraft sent by ISRO towards Mars, was very was launched in November 2013, okay, and was placed in the orbit of Mars successfully in September 2014. Right, so that is the information given. So it has obtained some useful information about the surface of the Mars, atmosphere of the Mars, etc. So we came to know about the atmosphere, what is atmosphere and how the surface looks like, right? So there are many such missions taking place. Some spacecrafts orbited the planets, some have landed on some planets, and some just observed the planets, passed near them, and went further to study some celestial bodies. So some spacecrafts were sent specifically to study asteroids and comets. Some were sent what? To bring the dust and stone samples from the asteroids for the study. So all these space missions are what? Very useful. Why it is useful? Because it helps us in clarifying our concept about the origin of the earth, how the earth originated, how the solar system originated. We came to know about all this by these several missions taking place, like moon mission, Mars mission, and many other missions going to take place. Okay, so that was about this about the informations related to the missions. Okay, now you can see over here the person called Rakesh Sharma. Okay, he was the first Indian to travel to the space. He went into space along with two Russian astronauts under the joint Indo-USSR space program, and he stayed there for 8 days in space. Okay, so that is some information given about this person, Rakesh Sharma. Okay, next we have the image of Kalpana Chawla, right? Kalpana Chawla obtained her engineering in aeronautics degree from Punjab and in 1988. She obtained her doctorate from University of Colorado. Okay, she was in space for 336 hours. During her research mission, she went to space, but while returning to Earth from space on 1st February 2003, the Columbia spacecraft exploded, okay, and Kalpana perished. So that means she was not able to return back because her spacecraft exploded on the way while returning back. Okay, so that was the information given about this particular astronaut. Next, we are having Sunita Williams. Now, she also traveled to the International Space Station in Space Shuttle Discovery in 2006. She worked for 29 hours there. Outside the space station, she worked there. She created a record by staying for 192 days in space. Okay, so she also contributed towards several what she also did. She also learned about the discovered about the space, and she also contributed her observations towards the planet, right? So that is about the informations given about some of the astronauts. Now let us learn what is the contribution of ISRO. Okay. Uh, Now in India, India has what built various launchers which can put the satellites having the mass up to 2500 kilogram in the orbit, right? So Indian Space Research, that is ISRO, okay, has designed and built two important launchers, that is PSLV and GSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and Geo Satellite Launch Vehicle. So these are the two important launchers of ISRO. So successful space missions as well as scientific and technological accomplishment by India in space technology have made a significant contribution in the national and social development of our country. Okay, so many satellites in INSAT and GSAT series are active in what telecommunication, in television broadcasting, in meteorological services, during disaster management and monitoring, and even management of natural resources. Even EduSat is also used for what? For the education. Okay, it is specifically used for education, while satellites in IRNSS series are used for navigation. Tumba, Sriharikota, and Chandipur are Indian satellite launch centers. Vikram Sarabhai Space Center at Thiruvananthapuram, Satish Dhawan Space Research Center at Sriharikota, and Space Application Center at Ahmedabad. These are the space research organizations of India. So that is the contribution of ISRO. Okay. So now let us see how to manage the space debris. Now, you know, in there are certain waste materials collected in the space. So that has to be removed. So that is called as space debris. Okay. So few countries in the world, they have the capability to launch the satellites in orbit, right? So the international cooperation and commercial prospects have led to many other countries have their own satellites in space. So every country is having now this ability to launch the satellite. So due to failed launching, there are many satellites and parts of these launchers which are roaming freely in the different orbits around the Earth. So in a way, they form what? Space debris. What they're forming? Space debris. That means what? Fragments of satellites and launchers orbiting in uncontrolled manner. So there's parts of the satellites, no, they will be found on the space. The fragments of the satellites will be there, and that is nothing but space debris. So by an estimate, there are about 2 crore small and large pieces of satellites and launchers revolving around the Earth. So these debris certainly it will cause a threat to the current functional satellites, space shuttles and space stations, right? So if this collection of fragments remains unchecked and uncontrolled, it is likely to be risky to all future launching of satellites. It will be very risky for launching the satellites and space shuttles in future, because these debris keeps on collecting and uh, keep on increasing in space, and it will take the space. Okay, and there is a growing possibility of accidents, space accidents taking place. Okay, so research and dedicated efforts are on to find the means and ways of managing the space debris. So there are certain research done how we can manage this waste. So how to solve this problem, how to remove all the unwanted space, what you can say, pieces of satellites and pieces of launchers from that particular place, and how to manage the space. So that is what given in space debris and its management. Okay, so it's now 11:35 students. So we are getting some few more time, right? So today whatever we have studied, once again I will go through it. First we studied what is space mission, what are artificial satellites, right? Then we classified the artificial satellite. Okay, what is the classification, like for what all things we can use this satellite for? There is weather satellite, communication satellite, broadcasting, navigational satellite, military and earth observation satellite. Then we went to the orbit of the artificial satellite. What is mean by orbit of artificial satellite? What are the three types? That is high earth orbit satellite, medium earth orbit satellite and low earth orbit satellite. Then we studied how what is mean by satellite launch vehicle. Okay, then what is space mission taking place away from the earth, how you can calculate the escape velocity, what is mean by moon mission and Mars mission. Then we studied the contribution of ISRO, okay, and how to manage the space debris. So students, so